What if I told you that the itching that keeps you awake at night, that stubborn crawling sensation you might blame on dry skin or simply getting older, can sometimes be a warning sign of something far more serious? That sounds unsettling, I know, but it's exactly why we need to pay attention. I'm Dr. James Harrison, and I've devoted my work to protecting the health of older adults. Today, I want to share a message that most doctors wish everyone understood. There is a quiet danger that many people overlook, a kind of distress signal your own body can send, and in some cases, it shows up as persistent itching in 3 very specific areas. When it appears in that pattern and refuses to go away, it can be one of the earliest hints that a serious condition is progressing under the surface. In this video, I'm going to explain the 3 parts of the body where intense, ongoing itching should be treated like a red flag, something you should never dismiss, especially if you're past 50 or 60. Please stay with me, because recognizing this early can make the difference between protecting your health in time and receiving answers when it's already much harder to treat. Over the years, I've seen stories that could have ended very differently. People come into my office with kidney damage that is close to irreversible, or liver problems so advanced that the treatment options are limited. And when we look back through their history, we often find one symptom that was brushed aside for months, sometimes even years. It was an itch that nothing seemed to solve. Most of us automatically assume itching comes from something outside the body. A bug bite, a reaction to a new cream, a fabric that irritates the skin. And yes, many times it truly is that simple. But we also need to understand something important. The skin can act like a mirror. It's a huge organ, and it can reflect what's happening deeper inside, including the condition of systems that you can't see. When the organs that filter and cleanse the body, like the liver and the kidneys, begin to struggle, they don't always cause clear pain right away. Sometimes, instead of an obvious ache, they send quieter signals. One of the most common is itching that has no sensible explanation on the surface of the skin. Think of it like the check engine light on a dashboard. It may not tell you exactly what the problem is, but it tells you not to ignore what's happening. And today, you're going to learn how to read that signal more clearly. Let me share a real situation from my clinic, because I've witnessed this more times than I wish I had. Picture a man. We'll call him John. He was 65, retired, living in Sao Paulo with his wife. He started getting a severe itch in his legs at night. It wasn't mild. It was the kind that destroys sleep, the kind that makes you feel desperate for relief. He scratched until he hurt himself. His skin became red and raw, marked by lines from constant rubbing. His family tried to reassure him. They told him it was normal at his age, that older skin gets dry, and that a moisturizing cream would fix it. His daughter went to the pharmacy and bought an expensive lotion. It didn't help. His wife suggested switching soap. Still nothing changed. Then his son wondered if it was an allergy, maybe from the laundry detergent. That didn't help either. John kept trying one product after another. More creams, more ointments, more remedies. He spent money and hope on things that did absolutely nothing. The itching stayed, relentless and exhausting, day after day, night after night. 6 months passed like that. John became irritable. drained, and worn down. He started avoiding going out because the itch bothered him constantly, and then other symptoms began to creep in. A strange fatigue, even when he hadn't done anything. His legs began to swell. He assumed it was from sitting too long, but what John and his family didn't realize was that itching had nothing to do with dry skin at all. It was a desperate SOS from his kidneys, which were failing quietly. His kidneys had stopped filtering toxins from the blood properly, as waste built up and minerals fell out of balance, including calcium and phosphorus. It began to irritate nerve endings from the inside out. His body was not asking for another cream. It was screaming for the kind of treatment that could save his life. By the time John finally reached the hospital, the damage was already significant. His kidneys had lost more than 60% of their function. Thankfully, we were still able to treat him in time. He started a strict treatment plan, and today he is doing well. But it was a very close call. If he had seen a doctor when the itching first began, he could have avoided so much suffering. And this same pattern can happen with liver disease, and even with certain types of cancer. The problem is that we get used to treating what we can see on the surface, instead of asking why it is happening in the first place. And when we are talking about persistent itching in an older adult, ignoring the root cause can be a very serious risk. Early diagnosis changes everything, and that itching may be your first and best chance to act. Now let's focus on what truly matters. Not every itch is an emergency, but if it appears intensely and keeps coming back in 3 specific zones, you need to pay very close attention. The first area that should raise suspicion may sound unusual: the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. You might be thinking, everyone gets an itch on their hands or feet sometimes. That's true, but the kind of itching I'm describing is different. It is intense, deep, and it can feel as if it's coming from inside the skin. And if it becomes much worse at night, that is a major warning sign. I'm talking about an itch that doesn't calm down when you scratch, because there is nothing on the surface to fix. You may look at your hands and feet and see absolutely nothing. No rash, no blisters, no obvious irritation, yet the sensation can feel unbearable. It can make you feel panicked and desperate. You scratch, and there is no real relief. It's as if the itch is underneath the skin, in a place you cannot reach. And one of the strongest clues is how much worse it becomes at night. The moment you lie down to sleep, it can turn into torture. This type of itching, known as cholestatic pruritus, is an important clinical clue that can point to a liver problem. Let me explain what may be going on. Your liver is the body's treatment station. Think of it like a massive factory that works non-stop. It produces bile to help digestion. Bile is a fluid that helps break down the fats you eat. And through this same bile flow, the liver also helps carry out waste products and toxins so the body can eliminate them. When everything is working properly, it's a remarkably efficient system. But when the liver is diseased or the bile ducts become blocked, that flow is disrupted. Bile can't move out the way it should. Substances that are meant to be cleared, such as bile salts, can start building up in the bloodstream. We now understand that this involves a complex process where different compounds end up irritating skin nerves from the inside out. And for reasons that are still being studied, that irritation is often felt especially strongly in the palms and the soles. Ignoring this signal can delay the diagnosis of liver disease until it is already in a very advanced stage, such as cirrhosis or liver failure. Cirrhosis is when the liver becomes scarred and gradually loses its ability to do its job. Liver failure is when the liver nearly stops working altogether. Both of these conditions are extremely serious, and without treatment, they can become life-threatening. And when someone reaches those advanced stages, care is often much harder. It may involve a liver transplant, major surgery, and then the long wait for a donor. But here is what is truly painful to see. If the problem had been recognized earlier, right when the itching first appeared, the solution could have been far simpler. Sometimes it comes down to medication, nutrition changes, and steady medical follow-up. The kind of steps that can keep the illness under control and protect quality of life for many years. So if you are dealing with an unexplained itch in your hands and feet, especially when it gets worse at night, don't make your next stop the pharmacy for yet another cream. Schedule a medical visit and ask for a blood test to check how your liver is functioning. These tests are straightforward, and they can save your life. And before we move on, I want to ask you for a quick help if what you're hearing feels useful. Take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other important warnings that can protect your health and your family. Now let's continue, because the second kind of itching does not stay in one single spot, and once you recognize it, it has a very clear pattern. I'm talking about a widespread itch that comes and goes, and it can affect the whole body. But it often feels strongest in the back, the chest, and the legs. It's the kind of itch that drives you to distraction, the kind that gives you no peace. This can be a warning sign of chronic kidney disease, like what happened with John. It is commonly called uremic pruritus. The word uremic comes from uremia, which means a buildup of urea and other toxins in the bloodstream. Let me explain in a simple way how the kidneys work. Your kidneys are two bean-shaped organs in your back, one on each side of the spine. They are the body's filters. Your blood passes through them many times a day, and they do an incredible job of cleaning it. They remove waste, extra water, and leftover minerals, everything the body does not need, and they turn it into urine so it can leave the body. It's an elegant cleaning system, but when the kidneys begin to fail, toxins start to remain in the blood. Urea, which is produced when your body breaks down protein, begins to rise. Creatinine, another waste product, rises as well. Potassium can become unstable. Calcium and phosphorus can fall out of balance. And all of this together creates a toxic environment in the bloodstream that can trigger this full body itching. In other words, the itch is systemic. The issue is not your skin. Your skin can look completely normal. The real problem is what is circulating underneath it. One of the most dangerous things about chronic kidney disease is how quietly it develops. You can lose a large portion of kidney function without any obvious warning signs. The kidneys are remarkably good at compensating. Even after losing 50% of their function, they can still manage the basic work, and you may not feel anything clearly wrong. But when symptoms finally appear, when the itching becomes unbearable, along with intense fatigue, swelling, cramps, and shortness of breath, the damage at that point can already be severe, and this is where the situation becomes even more serious. Chronic kidney disease, once established, has no cure. Kidneys do not simply regenerate. What doctors can do is slow the progression, reduce symptoms, and prevent it from getting worse. But if it reaches the final stage, the only options are dialysis or a transplant. Dialysis means going to a clinic 3 times a week and being connected to a machine for 4 hours so it can do the job your kidneys can no longer do. It is a life-saving treatment, but it is exhausting, and it can greatly limit your daily life. That is exactly why catching kidney disease early matters so much. If you are living with itching all over your body that does not improve with anything, and especially if you also have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of kidney problems, it is essential to speak with a doctor. And here is a key fact to remember. High blood pressure and diabetes are the 2 leading causes of chronic kidney disease. If you have either one and it is not well controlled, your kidneys are at risk. High blood pressure slowly damages the tiny blood vessels that feed the kidneys. Diabetes harms the delicate filters inside the kidneys. Over time, either problem can push the body toward kidney failure. The good news is that a simple blood test and a urine test can catch kidney trouble early enough to act. The blood test checks creatinine and calculates the filtration rate, which shows how well your kidneys are doing their job. The urine test looks for protein or blood, which can be early signs of kidney damage. These tests are quick and affordable, and they can truly change the outcome. Now we move to the third and final place where itching can signal danger. And this one is the most misleading, because it is small and focused. I'm talking about an itch that stays in one single spot on your body. It might be a mole that suddenly starts itching. It could be a small mark that does not go away, or a tiny sore that never fully heals and keeps itching again and again. Many people brush this off and tell themselves it must be friction, or just a pimple, or nothing important. Then weeks pass, sometimes months, but persistent. Localized itching like this can be one of the earliest signs of skin cancer, such as basal cell carcinoma, or the more dangerous melanoma. Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer in Brazil, and the numbers have been rising. A major reason is sun exposure over a lifetime, and in a country where sunlight can be intense, the risk becomes even greater. One reason these cancers get ignored is because they can itch. As abnormal cells grow out of control, they may release substances that irritate nearby nerves in the skin. It can feel like your body is trying to pull your attention to that exact area. Sometimes the itching begins even before the changes are obvious to the eye. A mole that always looked normal can start itching for no clear reason, or a new spot can appear and itch from the very beginning. These are warning signs. There is a well-known guideline that helps people recognize suspicious changes linked to melanoma. The ABCDE rule. A is for asymmetry, when the 2 halves do not match. B is for border, especially edges that look uneven or jagged. C is for colour, when one spot shows several different shades instead of one consistent tone. D is for diameter, and moles larger than 6 millimeters deserve attention. E is for evolution, meaning any change in a spot you already had should raise concern. And I would add one more signal to take seriously: itching. If a mole begins to itch without a clear reason, it should be checked. Normal moles typically do not itch. The rule is simple: any new skin lesion that itches, bleeds, changes shape, or does not go away within a few weeks should be evaluated by a dermatologist. And if a mole you have had for years suddenly starts itching for no reason, schedule an appointment without delay. When skin cancer is found early, the cure rates are extremely high. More than 95% chance of cure if it is caught at the beginning. Removing an early skin cancer is usually a straightforward procedure done in the office with local anesthesia. But an advanced cancer may require major surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and much heavier treatment. So, watch your skin closely. Make a habit of checking your body, and if anything changes, see a dermatologist. Daily sun protection is also essential. Use sunscreen every day. Avoid strong sun exposure from the morning until 4 in the afternoon. Wear a hat, sunglasses, and long sleeves when you will be outside for a long time. I know this conversation can feel intense. It's normal if you're now thinking about every small itch you've ever had. Words like cancer, kidney failure, or liver failure can be frightening, but don't let fear take control. Take a slow, deep breath. The goal is not to live scared. The goal is to live informed. Let's recap briefly. Intense itching in the palms and soles, especially at night, can point toward the liver. A widespread, relentless itch that hits the trunk and legs more strongly can point toward the kidneys. An itching in one small, stubborn spot over a mole or lesion can point towards skin cancer. Now here is the good news. Most itching is caused by something harmless. In older adults, the most common cause is dry skin. With age, the skin holds less moisture. Other common causes include dermatitis, allergies, or stress. For typical itching, the advice is simple: drink enough water, use mild, fragrance-free soaps, choose breathable cotton clothing. After bathing, while your skin is still slightly damp, apply a good moisturizer. Try not to scratch with your nails. It's better to press gently or use cold compresses to soothe the area. But here is the most important message of this video. If your itching feels unusual, if it lasts longer than 2 weeks, if it is so intense that it keeps you from sleeping, if it does not improve with basic care, or if it comes with other symptoms like extreme tiredness, weight loss, fever, night sweats, or yellowing of the skin, do not hesitate. See a doctor immediately. A simple blood test can be the difference between finding a serious problem early and facing something much more complex later. These are basic tests available in any laboratory, covered by the SUS and by all health insurance plans. You can have blood drawn in the morning, and within a few days, you'll have results. Those results can uncover problems you never imagined. Think about John. If he had gone to the doctor as soon as the itching began, He could have avoided so much suffering. That is the power of early diagnosis. It starts with noticing what your body is trying to tell you. Your body is wise. It warns you when something is not right, but you have to listen and act. Please do not ignore these signs. If the itching is persistent, intense, or comes with other symptoms, go to a doctor. It could save your life. And even if it turns out to be nothing serious, you will gain peace of mind. That calm is priceless. To sum it all up, your body speaks through signals. Itching can be one of the important ones. Most itching is harmless and improves with simple care. But if your itching is different, persistent, and intense, do not wait. Get checked. Do the tests. And take care of your health. Early detection saves lives. A simple blood test and a regular medical visit can be the turning point between many healthy years ahead and finding out too late. You deserve to feel well. You deserve health, strength, and real quality of life. Your body is your greatest asset. Protect it. Pay attention to it. Respect the signals it sends you, and reach out for help when you need it. That is what doctors are here for, to support you, to guide you, and to take care of you. There is no shame in asking questions, and there is no need to be afraid. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your trust. I'm Dr. James Harrison, and your well-being truly matters to me. If this message helped you, please pass it along to someone you care about. It could be the information that protects a life. Take good care of yourself. Listen to what your body is telling you. And always remember, this prevention is often the strongest medicine we have. When we notice early signs, when we act in time, and when we care for ourselves with clarity and compassion, we are choosing a longer life, a healthier life, and a happier life. And that choice is in your hands. So don't let these signals slip by. Don't dismiss the warnings. Your body deserves to be heard, and you deserve to live fully, not with fear, but with wisdom. I'll see you in the next video with more important guidance to help you protect your health.